what makes America a great country when it comes to housing? We really talk about this, that this is huge picture. So back in the day, you used to walk in a bank and I'd say, hey Tyler, yeah, I know your dad. Dude, shake my hand. Dude, let's get you this house. It's the Fed rate is 4.5. We mark it up 2 points. So your rate today is 6.5. We'll lock you in for a period of 5 to 10 years and pay that thing off and get it going. So as we grew as a country, what happened is we created these different financial products. And that's what has made, like when we talk through engineering and financial ingenuity as a country, we have done things that are totally different than the rest of the world. We have a 30-year fixed rate loan. Nobody else has that, right? My buddy lives in Munich, Germany. The average down payment in Munich, wait for it, 50% down. Google that. Hey, how easy is it to get a loan in Munich? Not.
There's no first-time buyers there.
There's no first-time home buyers there.
Real estate to buy real estate there.
There's a ton of rules in these other places. So when we talk through just speaking about our business and why I think America is still the greatest country in the world is that we'll empower people to take advantage of this American dream. Because people are so focused on the affordability crisis, not talking about, hey man, you probably don't need that car payment that's $700 a month. You probably don't need the new iPhone that's $1,200. You probably don't need to eat at Whole Foods. You can eat at Aldi, right? You probably could not have every streaming channel possible, right? We could start making these sacrifices because most people make more than enough money. It's just that we have been led astray as a culture about what saving money actually is and what we need and don't need, right? That's what everyone's amazed. They're like, oh, my grandpa made $38,000 a year and he retired with $1 million. He paid off his house, drove a piece of cars that were not perceived as high value. But like, does the car make you a better person or does the cell phone make you the right person, right?
Yeah, he also lived through the Great Depression, likely, and saved every Sprite can that he opened and only drank half of it, put tinfoil on it, put it back in the fridge.
Hey, potentially that. But back as a society, back to where I started this, wants, needs, and pains.
Yeah.
What do we do now? We don't even talk through wants, needs, and pains. We just complain.
Yeah, complain and get debt, and then complain about the
government.
Debt.
I thought you were going to provide for me.
Yeah,
right. So back when we look at the mortgage business as an industry, what transpired is that we took it from a bank to a national level. It's like FICO scores right now is a huge controversy. It's a monopoly. We're paying so much for these credit reports for a customer to get an application just to charge them to verify their own information. Think about that. They end up paying when their loan closes to FICO, right? Enormous amount of fee to provide them the data that's theirs. Put that in perspective because it's verifying these things, right? So what's happened is this. We went from a very regionalized, localized lending to now national. That credit score follows you everywhere you go. So as we talk through lending as an industry, where it blew up is that we could not scale and standardize the ability to lend money to individuals, right? We couldn't standardize the ability to grow an economy because think about what one homeowner's impact is to a community. I mean, think about all the hands that touches when you're an agent: title, insurance, utility, stability, education funding. Like, look at the schools, like the tax bill that just passed. That's the backbone of our world. Education, taking someone with no skill and giving them a skill, right?
Yeah.
So, and people are always so critical of high school, and I'm like, hey, if you actually look at high school, a lot of schools have vocation centers, but you just didn't participate, my friend. So who's to blame? The books in the library, they probably had that financial peace book of Dave Ramsey or Rich Dad Poor Dad in your library, but guess what? You didn't open the book. You stared at TikTok and did whatever mollywop dances up the window. So as we talk through this industry, it's evolved in a lot of iterations, but now it's one of the best, safe, secure way to get a loan. Because when you think about this, who in their right mind would lend anyone else money for 30 damn years at a fixed rate, right? And the best part is these things appreciate. And the elephant in the room for the American is this. People love to blame and cast doubt and be a hater, right? And say this is not true and not address the elephant in the room, which is it's never been another country where the minimum wage is talked about as it's a crime, but they don't talk. And then the other extreme is the maximum wage is hated on like a crime. Heaven forbid the guy who grew up broke becomes a billionaire. In either way, there's something wrong with that. Wait, but the guy started it where we're at and he made something, right? Okay, let's even go simpler. What about the guy who's got 5 million? Did he commit a crime here as we talk through this world? So as we look at our environment and lending and becoming a good lender and talking about banking, it's all predicated on being in America and how good our country is because the policies we create even though sometimes people like to cast out on them, can help anybody who follows the means, whether you're from Uganda, China, Mexico. You can create a great life here. And one of those great pieces of it is the American dream, which to me is buying that house and that white picket fence. That's the backbone of our society. And that's what really empowers me to run a good mortgage company, because I love it. And I've seen it in my own life. And that's what ties into that intro about being a real estate investor. I was like, wait, I can buy something for $1 that's worth $4. And then I can have other people pay my mortgage down. And funny enough, at 41, my first mortgage I ever bought is down to $26K.
Still holding on.
Holding on, $26K. I pay $98.
Was that 30-year fixed?
15. But that's where I go with this, is that there's so many success stories from making good financial decisions over periods of decades, not 1 month, not 6 months, not even a year, and you win, right? And that's what I love about the business, is that that's what I think, is that if you have a holistic view of being an originator, you're extremely ethical and compliant and straight communicator, and you hold your word as your bond, you can be very successful in this business because of the country we're in.